Well, welcome everyone out there in Kickstarter land. David Miller here, and we have a special guest today. We're going to talk with the star of our production, of our Kickstarter film. Straight from the internet, it's Monique Blyther. Welcome, Monique. How are you doing?
I am well. Thank you so much for having me, David.
Great. Hey, and thank you for joining the production. We met a long time ago. I was taking a class, video production class, and you were teaching it, and you always made an impact. And I heard you on working on WTOP one day, and I was a little envious because everyone says I have a face for radio, but you sounded great, and I said, oh, we got to keep in touch.
Well, you definitely have a voice for radio.
Oh, thank you. But when I was putting this production together, you were the first person on my mind, and the person I would want to be our star. So let's get to know you a little bit, all right?
Sounds good.
Great. Okay, well, let's start at the beginning. Hey, where were you born? Where'd you grow up?
Well, I was born Andrews Air Force Base in Prince George's County, Maryland. But I grew up primarily in Virginia. I graduated from South Lakes High School in Reston. And then I ventured to Atlanta. I did my freshman year of undergrad at Clark Atlanta, and then eventually came back to finish at George Mason. I studied journalism. I've always been interested in broadcast media production, was interested in writing more so then, but gradually found my way into video and radio. And so finished at Mason, also studied at Georgetown University, studied digital marketing there, and I've been here just being productive ever since.
Excellent. Well, you kind of stayed a hometown girl. That's nice. And where are you currently employed with, or are you more of a freelancer, or are you just everywhere?
Yeah, I have been fortunate to be a combination of many things.
Great.
Currently, I freelance with WTOP as an on-air traffic anchor. And then my full-time, I am a communication specialist for the Virginia Department of Transportation. So if I could sum all of that up, it's a lot of radio, video production, a lot of graphic design, just very much arts. So that would kind of encompass everything that I do, but I also have independent projects that I work on. So there's definitely a lot to keep me busy.
Excellent. It's a great life if you can make it work, and it sounds like you're making it work. So have you done any voice acting? Since that's what you'll be doing with our production.
Right. Believe it or not, I have not. This would be my very first voice acting project. I don't consider radio voice acting or even voiceovers. This is different. This is definitely taking it a step further. So I am super excited to be a part of this. So there has been some acting in the past. Like I said, I grew up kind of in the liberal arts, just performing arts field. So my acting dates back to high school. I performed in a few plays that actually traveled overseas and performed in a few international film festivals, which was super cool.
Wow.
But again, this is years ago. But since then, it's just really been focusing on the radio and television side.
Great, man, that's great. I wish we had more time because I'd really like to delve back, but we got to stay a little focused on this. So, okay, so you're going to be helping me out with a science fiction animated production. So were you a fan of Star Trek before, or science fiction?
I'm embarrassed to admit, no. And please don't fault me for this. I grew up on Disney. I was a Disney's baby. So, from Lion King to Beauty and the Beast, those were my movies. I could really read them back to you verbatim. But no, Star Trek, I never really got into it, but I've always been fascinated by the loyalty and just the large community of people that really love and just kind of follow. So I'm excited to be a part of this new venture for me.
Well, that's great because you can bring a freshness to it.
Well, when I first read the script, with the visuals in mind, because I saw the video for the initial promo for the Kickstarter. So I had this visual, and I'm reading through the script, and I like it. What
Thank
I
you.
love most about, I love that it starts off in suspense. I don't want to give it away too much, but it's like you dive right into the action, and then you see all of these brilliant minds working together. So that part is super exciting. And the fact that it's an all-female cast, I don't know, makes me even more excited about it. Well, fortunately, living in kind of a digital space, you're able to still function and create. And so I think the way that you communicate your messages, I think there has been a bit of a challenge there in kind of pivoting what your focus is. Like you mentioned, live action versus animation. I actually dabbled in animation a little bit this year. I
Oh,
created a PSA for a new Virginia law for pedestrians and crosswalks. And so we chose to use animated video as a means to deliver that message, just because it was a little bit more effective in creating a picture and then also setting a tone that can be received well, right?
right.
So I think it really, it really depends on the project, but obviously with every challenge, there's the silver lining, right? So it's tapping into those creative, resources and using those tools and learning new ones along the way. So I think that has been the highlight. Mm, okay, Linda. I like her character. She embodies strength, femininity, and also leadership. And so I could see that unfolding in how she interacts with her counterparts, her team. So, and I feel like I can connect with that. So I'm very excited for that to be my character.
Well, that's kind of one of the reasons, one of the many reasons I thought of you is that, when I first met you, you were in a instructor teacher position, and that's a position of leadership. And I really had a great time taking that class with you. I think I learned a lot. I said, and so that you were the first name that popped in my head. So,
Thank you.
so I'm glad I get the feeling you're going to attack this, or at least really enjoy it. Attack was a strange word, uh, but
I know what you meant.
at least you'll enjoy the experience.
Hmm.
Um, so we're coming to the end here.
Hmm.
So do you have your own production company? Did I hear that right? Or
I do. So, Memories by Mo is a boutique production company that offers just storytelling and creative capturing services. And also just tackling a number of small projects here and there. As you can imagine, I do have a lot going on right now, but there's always room for opportunities to help bring stories to life. So there's that. One of the more exciting partnerships would be just co-founded the Betty Louise Foundation,
oh,
which is in honor of my late grandmother who passed away May 5th last year, 2020, due to COVID. So that is my
oh,
latest
sorry.
venture. And thank you for that. But that has been a process, and we're excited to see that, to create that legacy and for that to continue, and hoping to kind of help many along the way.
Great, great. And you just reminded me, if you don't mind me sharing a little bit about the production. There's uh, this thing I'm throwing in, like my experiences from my whole life.
Hmm.
Just I'm of a certain age, and I've just done a lot of things. There's a lot of experiences. You notice that the parent ship, the name of the shuttle is the Earhart, but the
Hmm.
parent ship is the Thresher, and the reason I picked that is that in 1963 the submarine, the Thresher, went down with all hands. It was a terrible time in the submarine service. My father was on that ship and he almost went down, but his crew was relieved by the crew that went down. So he
Wow.
he almost went down, and that was like 125 men um,
Wow.
on eternal patrol since 1963. So I just wanted to get a little, I always wanted to do a science fiction show where the ship was the Thresher, just to just to remind people of that.
Just to remind.
So, and like you do, I think you do the most impactful work when you have a emotional connection to it,
Connection.
and
Absolutely.
that's a small connection in that. But so that wow, that's it. That's great. What you're doing. So, well, we're coming up to the end. But where can the people find you out there on the interwebs? if they
Well, if you
want to use you?
absolutely, first place would be to check out memoriesbymo.com. That is the website, and you can find all the links there. I'm on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. My handles are Ms. Monique, MONIQU. Thank
Great,
you.
great. And we'll put those down in the description summary in the bottom, along with the Kickstarter address. Well, if you found this interesting and you'd like to donate to our little production, you can go to Kickstarter. It's called Star Trek Amazons, a Star Trek fan production, and we hope everyone will join us.
Yes.
And Monique, thank you.
Thank you.
And we'll be seeing and hearing you soon.
Until next time.
Bon voyage. Okay, bye-bye.
Bye.